Hello, welcome to Yoga with Rach. I'm Rach, thank you for joining me today. I'm here in the Chalice Gardens. I'm bringing our Pitta pacifying practice to you from the top meadow. We're on the last day of our retreat in Glastonbury, so I thought I'd quickly sneak off whilst the retreaters are enjoying their breakfast to come and video this for you. So Pitta pacifying practice, a little bit like the Kapha pacifying practice that I published earlier on in the year. When we come into Ayurveda, we've got the three body types or doshas or constitutions. So we've got Kapha, Pitta and Vata, and now we're right in the middle of our summer period here in the Northern Hemisphere in the UK. We want to pacify the Pitta. So Pitta is when we get overheated. If we get overheated, we can burn out. Those of you that are very Pitta will get quite hangry if you don't eat regularly. If we get too hot, if we stay out in the midday sun, not only do we burn out, but we can get really sort of sunstroke. We might get really uber sweaty, so we want to try and cool it down and bring in a nice sort of jala flow practice. So drop your practice down. If you really push yourself to the limit, really slow down. So if you don't want to necessarily pause in child's pose, really see if you can come into that fluidity with your breath, so that you're constantly moving, much like water element does, but nice and slowly. So rather than being this whooshing, uber strong, constantly flowing river, see if you can bring your practice down to this lovely trickle of a stream, so we find this beautiful flow in our practice. We're going to be focusing on shoulders, hips and hamstrings as well. So find a comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall, hands can rest on the knees or into the lap, closing the eyes, bringing your awareness to your breath. A few moments to check in, listening to how you're feeling as you start your practice. And coming into our waterfall arms. Inhale, reach the arms of the body forward, raise the arms up. Exhale, bend into the elbows, keep the hands quite close to the body as you release them over the head, the shoulders, the chest, the belly back into the lap. Inhale, slowly reach the arms, body forward, raise the arms up. Exhale, slowly release the arms all the way down towards the lap. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, releasing them all the way back down. A few more rounds. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, releasing all the way down. Two more. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, release the arms down. Last one is you inhale, reach the arms forward and up. As you exhale, release the arms all the way down. Hands can rest again onto the knees or into the lap. When you're ready, slowly moving into child's pose. Your choice. Knees can stay hip width or wider. Keep the arms out in front of you. Those we're going to go straight into a flow. From child's pose, as you inhale, slowly lift on up into tabletop. Lift the chin, lift the tailbone. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, the tailbone under as we draw back down into child's pose. Keep that movement constant. Inhale, lift into tabletop, lift the chin, lift the tailbone. Exhale, drawing back and down into child's pose. Inhale, lift into tabletop, lift the chin, lift the tailbone. Exhale, all the way back down into child's pose. Whenever you're ready, have a little pause in child's pose. See if you can really slow the movement down. When you're ready, we're going to change the exhale. So every other, we're going to be lifting into downward dog. So we inhale into tabletop, exhale, tuck under the toes, lift the tailbone high, downward dog. Inhale, lower straight away into tabletop, and exhale all the way back down into child's pose. Inhale, lifting into tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale into tabletop. Exhale into child's pose. Inhale into tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale into tabletop. Exhale into child's pose. Pause when you need to. When you're ready, have a little moment, have a few breaths, just resting in child's pose. From here, adding on, we're going to stay in downward dog just a tiny bit longer, coming into our down dog split. So we're going to exhale into downward dog, inhale, right leg lifts, exhale, slowly lower, inhale, left leg lifts, exhale, slowly lower, inhale into tabletop, exhale into child's pose. In your own time, from child's pose, inhale into tabletop, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, slowly right leg lifts, exhale, lower back down. Inhale, left leg lifts, exhale, lower. Inhale into tabletop, we can still lift the chin, lift the tailbone. Exhale down into child's pose. Pause when you need to, or keep flow with your breath. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right leg lowers. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left leg lowers. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down into child's pose. Twice more, or pause in child's pose. Next time you land in child's pose, pausing here just for a breath or two. Remember, have a drink if you need to. So from here, we're going to stay with that same sequence, adding on our down dog splits, but now we're going to stay with the right leg coming through into a little low lunge sequence. So we're just going to do this once, right side, left side, and then we're going to come down, either stay in child's pose for a few moments or come down into pranam. So from your child's pose, knees hip width or wider, hands out in front of you. Inhale into tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. This time, as you exhale, bring the right knee into the belly, pull the shoulders forward, place your right foot in between the hands, and bring your left knee down. Left toes can stay tucked or released, your choice. Lift the hands off the mat, bring the shoulders over the hips, but keep drawing the hips forward so we don't pull back. Keep your right knee over your right ankle, and we're going to raise the arms all the way up. Keep your right arm lifted, bring your left hand to your left hip, gently push the left hip towards the right as we reach the right arm over to the left. Focusing on the breath. If it's accessible, left hand can come down to the mat or the earth. Slowly lift the left arm up, right hand to right hip, reaching the left arm over as you push the right hip towards the left. Right hand can stay on your hip, Or again, maybe we can bring the right hand or right fingertips down towards the mat. Check you're not holding your breath. Slowly lifting back up. Sweep the hands past the hips, interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders down the back. Keep the arms nice and active. Maybe you're starting to explore a back bend. Slowly release the hands either side of your right foot. Give the right toes a bit of a wiggle forward. So pull the tailbone back, keep it lifted. Start to straighten your right leg and lift the right toes. So coming into Ardha Hanumanasana or half split pose. If your hamstrings are really tight, stay lifted. Keep the hands closer to your hips. Maybe you can walk the hands closer to your right foot, or in time start to fold over that right leg. Slowly pull the body forward, bend into the right knee, tuck under the left toes and lift that left knee, sweeping right leg back and up, down dog splits. On an exhale, right foot next to left. Inhale, left leg lifts. Adding on, as you exhale, bring the left knee into the belly, pull the shoulders forward, place your left foot in between the hands, give it a nudge if you need to. Bring your right knee down, right toes can stay tucked or released. Slowly lift the hands, bring the shoulders over the hips. Try not to pull the tailbone back, so keep your left knee over your ankle. Sweeping the arms up into low lunge. Right hand to right hip. Push the right hip to the left as we reach the left arm over to the right. Right hand can stay on the hip, or maybe you find the mat. When you're ready, slowly lift back up. And changing sides. Left hand to left hip. Push the hips to the right as we reach the right arm over to the left. Left hand can stay on the hip, or maybe we find the mat. Slowly coming back up. Sweep the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Notice how you interlace. So have you got right index finger or left index finger on top? And see if you can uninterlace and interlace the wrong way around. And then roll the shoulders down and away. Lift the chin, lift the chest if you're exploring your back bend. Check you're not holding your breath. To release, bring the hands either side of that left foot, wiggle the toes forward. And start to pull the tailbone back, starting to straighten into that left leg as the left toes lift. Walk the hands closer to the hips, keep the chin lifted. If those hamstrings are tight, you can also keep a slight bend in the knee, perfectly fine. Walk the hands towards the foot if it feels comfortable to go deeper into the hamstrings. Anytime we might find that we can fold over the leg. Slowly draw the body forward. Tuck under the right toes, lift the right knee, slide the left leg back and up. Exhale, left foot to right. Inhale, tabletop, lift the chin, lift the tailbone. Exhale into child's pose. You're welcome to stay here or slide on through for pranam. Belly, forehead on the mat. Hands in namaste, elbows wide, arms completely relaxed. If you're in pranam, slide the hands underneath the shoulders, pulling back into child's pose. So we're going to go through the sequence again, right side, left side. You can work with a few different variations, especially in our low lunge. If you feel that you haven't got the stability yet, stay nice and low and stay with the back bend. Otherwise you can have a go with the extra layer that I'm going to offer for the next round. So always listen to your body. From child's pose, inhale, lift on up into tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right knee into the belly, pull the shoulders forward, place your right foot down, give it a nudge if you need to. Left knee lowers, left toes can stay tucked or release. Raise the arms up into your low lunge. From here, turn the hands around so the palms face out. As you exhale, sweep the arms out and around behind you. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up, palms facing. Exhale, spin the hands around, palms face out as you sweep the hands down and around. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, spin the hands out as we sweep the arms down and around. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. From here, leave the hands down by your hips. Either interlace the fingers and stay in your low lunge for your back bend or exploring your back bend. Or we can have a go with tucking under the toes, lifting the knee and coming on up into high lunge. Staying here, or only in the high lunge, folding over that right leg, reaching the arms up and over. Focus on the breath. If you're wobbly, really push through that right big toe. When you're ready, slowly lift the chin, lift the chest, release the hands. Bring the knee down if you're in your high lunge. Walk that right foot forward and finding your Ardha Hanumanasana, your half splits again. Last one on this side. If this is in your practice at home, you might also start to explore full Hanuman. I know most of us will stay here, so it's perfectly fine. When you're ready, bend into the right knee, walk the hands forward if they're back by the hips, lift your left knee, slide that right leg back and up, down dog splits. Exhale, right foot to left. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bring the knee into the belly, pull the shoulders forward, place the left knee down, bring your right knee down, toes can stay tucked or release. Sweep the arms up, inhale. Exhale, spin the hands around and down behind you towards the hips. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, palms facing. Exhale, turn the hands around as we sweep the arms down and back. Inhale and exhale, twice more. Bringing the hands all the way down to the hips. If you're staying in your low lunge, try and interlace the fingers the opposite way around. Exploring your balance here, maybe finding your back bend. Or use the hands if you need that support to tuck under the right toes to lift the knee. Slowly lifting up, find your high lunge. Try to interlace the fingers here, we might stay here, or if we've got that right knee off the mat in high lunge, we can explore the dive forward into humble warrior. Try not to rest too much on that left thigh. Really push and reach through your left big toe. Slowly lift the chin, bring the hands down as we release the hands towards the mat. Bring the right knee down if you're in high lunge. Last one, Ardha Hanumanasana, or half splits. Straighten that left leg, lift the left toes. Find that placement, nice and soft in the hamstring, or going a bit deeper if it's comfortable. When you're ready, bend into the left knee, tuck under the right toes, lift the right knee, slide left leg back and up, down dog splits. Exhale, left foot to right. Inhale into tabletop, lift the chin, lift the tailbone. Exhale, drawing back and down into child pose. Staying here, or slide through onto the belly. Forehead on the mat, hands in namaste for pranam. You are welcome to stay in pranam. You might roll over onto your back for savasana, or you might finish with this practice and move on to either of the practices that I'm going to tag up at the end of the video. One here, one here. If you want to go a little bit more into the hips or the shoulders. So if you're staying, either stay on the belly or roll over onto your back for Shavasana. Allow the mind, the body to relax completely. When you're ready, starting to right movement back in as you wiggle the fingers, the toes. Starting to stretch the arms, the legs. Bringing the knees into the belly. Wrapping the arms around the legs, and giving the body a little hug, rocking from side to side. Rolling onto one side. We open the eyes and find our way up to sitting.